What's up, everyone? It's Ditch. Welcome to the Ditch the Ego Show. This is episode 4. Please like and subscribe. It's the best way to support me and my channel and everything I'm doing over here at DTE Music. Let's get into it. First and foremost, I'm dropping a new song this week. It's called Reaching for the Stars, and it's the Jyme mix. That's Jyme. This is an incredible DJ, and he hit us up actually to remix this song, Reaching for the Stars, off my last album, and he wanted to make an EDM version of it. And so we sent him the stems, and he did his thing, and this thing is really incredible. I love this mix by Jyme. Shout out to him. Please go check him out. Go follow him. Go like his post, comment. Check out his mixes on SoundCloud and on all other streaming platforms. Shout out to you, Jyme. I love what you did, and I can't wait for everybody else to hear what you did on this song. So that's coming this Friday. Please pre-save and support if you have the time. I've also already dropped 3 songs out of my 16 weekly songs in a row, and those 3 songs are I Can Never Give Up with Kira Ruth, Dasmond De Leon, produced by Mere Magic. That's Locked In, produced by myself and Brig. And then that's Right Way Around, produced by Brig, Sama Beretta, and Worldwide Beats, as well as myself. So this is going to be the first month, the first 4 weeks in a row of weekly releases for my new album that I'm distributing 1 song at a time instead of all at a time. So please go check those out, support, save them, share them if you really feel like you want to, you know. But yeah, just appreciate everybody's support out there. It means a lot. We're just getting started. Just really trying to get consistent with myself, for myself. You know, I think for a long time, I was trying to prove to my parents, to myself, to the world that I belong in this field of making music. And once I finally felt like I kind of proved myself, I kind of didn't know what to do, because it was kind of just like the fuel that was pushing me forward that whole time was coming from a place of shame. You know, you're not good enough. You have to prove yourself. You're not good enough. You need to show that you belong, that you're not good enough. You need to prove yourself. And I think the modern expectations of the world that we live in today, that is something that can come and sneak up on you really quickly, because of the internet, because of social media, yada, yada, yada. And so I just encourage everybody out there to realize that a lot of modern expectations now are not realistic for us to meet. And what matters is if we tune into our purpose and we tune into what we're called to do. For me, it's to make music and to hopefully inspire people to change their lives through my speaking and through my lyricism and writing. But for everybody else, it's different, obviously. And the way for us to overcome those modern expectations is to have purpose and to really be and embody that purpose. So I encourage you guys out there to, if you haven't found your purpose yet, do the work with yourself inward to figure out what that is. And if you have found your purpose, figure out how you can embody that more, because it's just such a beautiful thing, right? So other than that, there is one more thing that I did want to touch on, and that would be just the music industry in general. So I touched on this last week a little bit, but I kind of wanted to expand on it. Artists and producers, we need each other. It's a symbiotic relationship. Now, I think it's really hard nowadays for artists to find producers who are willing to invest in them without trying to only make it about being charged. So here's how I would see it as an artist. I'm just being real. If I'm hiring you to do something, then it's a work for hire job. But then the complication comes when the producers want all of basically even splits. By the way, side note, I operate by giving all of my producers even splits. But all I'm saying is, based off of this logic that I'm hiring you to do something, isn't that work for hire? So why do you also get equity in what I'm hiring you to do? Just some food for thought. How I operate is I give everybody even splits. And if I I got this from Russ, basically. You've got your lyrics and your melody, which is the legal definition of songwriting, which we'll get into in a second. And then you have your drums and you have, the music, which might be samples, which might be original composition from guitarist, whatever, I break it down into 4 pieces. Really, it's Russ who taught me this. So Russ breaks it down into these 4 pieces. And so if I write the lyrics and I write the melody of the song, but you've done, as a producer, you've done the music and you've done the drums, all right, perfect, 50-50, because 2-2. But if I help make the drums, then it's 75-25. See what I'm saying? So I think that, number one, artists need to understand this part, because I think producers understand this way more than artists do, the whole splits and business side of things, because they rely on it to make a living on the back end for their beats and for their composition. So I get it. But artists need to be more aware of this as well, so that when you're going to producers and you're trying to work with them and you may not have money to pay somebody, offer them splits and make sure that there's someone that'd be willing to invest in you in that way by willing to just work with splits. Now, if you're hiring people to do something you can't do, for me, again, that's something that I'm willing to pay for, because I can't do that. You know what I mean? So that's a whole nother discussion. So it just depends on how you want to go about your thing. But I think that what's happened is because of beat leasing and because of a lot of the same sounds being used, a lot of artists are feeling like a lot of stuff sounds the same, and we're searching for something unique. So, and the only way to get that is to have producers that you're working with tightly, who are invested in you. So I encourage the producer community out there as well, to work with artists in that manner, because I know that, the beat leasing can be a lucrative business, and I'm not saying don't do that, but I think if we as a community want more authentic music, I think we need to be the producers of the next come up, we're the next wave, need to be willing to work with the upcoming artists together as an investment, because now you guys got piece of equity. I only work with my team and then various specific people who, if I connect with you organically very strongly, I'll work with you. But other than that, like, I keep everything in-house, because to me it is about who's investing in me, and I want the people who invest in me the most to get the most equity in what I'm building. So I'd encourage everybody out there to think about that a little bit. And the reality is legal definition of songwriting. And I'm not talking about right now. I'm not talking about, all the publishing and stuff. I'm talking on the master's end, right? The reality is if I write a song, the legal definition of what constitutes that song is the lyrics and the melody. So what's the melody of the song, and what are the lyrics that go along to that melody? Now, part of the melody can be, say, a guitar or a piano, right? But drums are not a part of that. And that's just the truth. It's just that's just the legal definition of it. We may want drums to be a part of it. We may allow drums to be a part of it because there's nobody policing this stuff. But the legal definition is lyrics and melody. And drums are not a part of that, because you could have a song that has the lyric and the melody, and you could have 5 different drum patterns for that song, but it's still the song. But without the lyric and the melody, it's just drums. So, and then people say, well, yeah, without the lyric and the melody, without the drum, it's lyric and melody. But it's like, okay, but that's the whole song. Like, without that, then there's no song. Like, so I encourage people out there to really kind of do their research and education on this, because I think what's happened is there's a little bit of a divide between artists and producers at this point, because a lot of artists don't understand that side of the business, and we as a community have allowed kind of that side of the business to just kind of run wild and do whatever, and so technically there's people claiming splits that they really shouldn't be getting. So, like, if I'm a songwriter and I worked on a song with you, I could consider that part of production. So why don't I get production splits? So I think what we need to do is worry less about splits, and that's my whole point of this is worry less about splits and more about the art and investing in each other. We all have it set up so that we can give each other our ASCAP and BMI, and we can send out royalty splits via email, and it's really easy. But that can be taken care of after the song's made and we're ready to push it out. And it's an investment for everybody together, you know? So if you're out there and that message resonates with you, hit me up. I want to work with you. Let's make some magic. Show the culture what we can do with that kind of mindset, you know? And by the way, Russ is obviously the king of this, like the exhibit A of what you could do with this kind of mindset. So yeah, this is kind of going to be a continual discussion that I kind of have throughout the next few weeks and probably for a long time. I'm excited to start having some guests on. We're going to start doing that now that we're going into the 4th week of the podcast, of the weekly releases. And I want to start having some discussions around all of these things and spreading that around the community and seeing what everybody else thinks. And I want to bring on some dope creatives, some dope artists that I know. Shout out to Nick Moody. Shout out to Sky Ray. Shout out to Mike Quill. You know, shout out to Kira Ruth. Obviously, shout out to Desmond De Leon. That's my executive producer, incredible pianist and producer. Just there's so many people in my community. Shout out to Quinn Soberanis. I always produce it wrong. I'm sorry, but that's the homie Quinn. He's been releasing music almost every other week right now as well. So go check him out. There's just so many dope creatives in the underground scene that are on their way up that I want to have discussions with about just their music, where they come from, where the music is coming from, all that kind of stuff. So and as well as having on people who want to discuss mental health, because that's a big part of my brand, and I want to open up a bigger discussion about men's mental health in specific. So I'm actually going to be doing another podcast series with my homie Zay. So go check him out at Magnetic Soul. I believe at Magnetic Soul or at like Magnetic Soul Zay or something like that. I'll put it in the comments, you know, but go check him out. He's a certified life coach. He's trying to help people better their lives, men in specific. And he specializes in overcoming trauma and, you know, beginning and transformation, you know? So, he's one of my best friends. I've known him since we were in middle school, and, it's a brother to me. So we're going to also be starting a podcast series to talk a lot about mental health and have those conversations as well, because it's needed. And we really want to try to help the people and start that kind of discussion around the internet circles, you know. So, you know, thank you guys so much. If you guys are tuning into these podcasts, it really means a lot to me. I think that, you know, it's important for us to show up for ourselves. And nowadays, making content is the best way for me to show up for myself as an artist, as a songwriter, as a producer, and as someone who's trying to build a brand and raise awareness around that brand. So I just thought, what better than doing a podcast? And I'm a big fan of podcasts. I love podcasts. I'm listening to podcasts all day long. And I love to talk. I'd love to do a TED Talk one day. So I just thought it'd be perfect, and it would give me an opportunity to have lots of content to, you know, clip up and chop up and put on social media. And it gives me a lot of stuff to post, and which the algorithm loves. And it just feels right with songs coming out every week as well. It's just really, it's doing well for me so far, building some momentum. I'm really excited to see where this takes us and what we can accomplish specifically in the next 3 months. So shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for listening to the music. Thank you guys for supporting me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Other than that, peace.